I received a email yesterday from a remote signer from a little over 30 days ago asking if I would notarize his signature on another document. If you don't know me, my name is Michelle. I am a remote notary here in the state of Alabama. It's not often that a remote signer will need an additional notarization so soon after the first one. But apparently, based on the transaction that we performed last month, the officials are asking for an additional form, one that was either overlooked or required. So this signer is not located in the United States. I remember the September notarization clearly. I wanted to hop on and record this message because when I first got the email, of course, I replied and said, fine, no problem. Um, it occurred to me this morning that I hadn't taken the usual preparation steps that I do for remote notarization. In my head, I was like, oh, I already know who he is. This is going to be easy, just one form this time. And I stopped myself because I've been a notary long enough to know that as soon as I start thinking that the notarization process is easy, that's when mistakes happen. And I want to say this to those of you who are new in your notary journey. While some notarizations are more difficult than others, every notarization is important and requires our undivided attention each and every time, whether it is one document, 10 documents, one signer, or multiple signers. And so in this case, I went ahead and I'm treating this notarization as if it's the first one. For remote notarizations in Alabama, it is required that the signer and the notary say certain things on camera during the recording of the notarization. And so I went ahead and printed out my script. I'm going to fill out my worksheets so that I can refer to them during the notarization. At first, I thought that I could skip the ID verification step because I did this a little over a month ago. But after thinking about it more, I went ahead, emailed the signer and said, hey, I want to see the same IDs, government issue ID, that you showed me last time. I'm going to take another step and review the recording from that first notarization. Why? I'll be honest with you, if the signer was here in Alabama and walked past me on the street, I would probably not recognize him. And so I need to familiarize myself again with his appearance so that I can make sure that today's remote notarization, the guy on the other side of the screen looks like the first guy. Notarizations are that serious. Before I logged on, I was checking my Facebook feed. I'm a member of multiple notary Facebook groups, Alabama and multiple states. And in one state, the admin of the Facebook group this morning has already posted about notaries in Ohio who's experiencing fraud, Tennessee notary who committed fraud, um, and in another state, I forget which one, where a notary is part of a house deed scheme. Too often, we as notaries play down or minimize the possibility of being involved in a fraudulent transaction. And here in October 2025, more than ever, I think there needs to be a change in our mindset about notarizations because the fraudsters that are out there are serious about what they are doing. And I think it's imperative that we as notaries recognize that part of our role, especially in Alabama, is to be a deterrent to fraud. So I think I have what I need for my appointment, which will be in just a little, about an hour from now. I'll be meeting with the signer. We'll watch him sign. We'll examine his identification, ask him a few questions. I may need to put him under oath, and then it's up to him to get that document to me so that I can do an in-person notarization with the other individual who's part of the transaction. I still enjoy being a commissioned notary despite the increase in fraudulent incidents that have been occurring. I'm not at a point where I am so afraid or concerned that I don't want to do it anymore. But I do want to encourage you really to rethink your approach to notarizations. I'm not suggesting that you consider every signer to be a bad actor, a bad character, but I am recommending that before you attempt any notarization, be it online or in person, you take a moment to prepare by whether it's a post-it note, whether it's a mindset of, all right, this person is asking me to notarize a certain type of form. On the phone, they said that their son would be coming. This should prompt you to consider and ask yourself, all right, I wonder how old this son is. So this means a male who is younger than the parent should be present, especially if they are, if the son is um, part of the transaction and will be signing the document. Give some thought to what type of ID the son might be presenting. Is the son a minor or an adult? So, all of that you need to be giving some thought to. Um, Checking to see if the document is going to require you to place one or both of them under oath or not? What if they say they're not comfortable swearing to God? Remember, you have that alternative, um, the affirmation instead. Okay? So these are just reminders, I think important reminders, not only for you, but for me. Slow down, plan, be alert, and most of all, remember, especially in Alabama, we have the option to decline to notarize if we believe that there is fraud in play, or I shouldn't say or, and if the signer is not able to provide us with the necessary information to verify their identity, to assure us that they are not being forced to sign, if they are unable to demonstrate that they understand the purpose of the document. I appreciate you watching, tuning in today. If you have a question about a notarization that you have been asked to perform and you weren't sure whether to move forward or not, I'd love to hear about that in the comments below. Thanks again and make it a great day.